आदरणीय प्रोफेसर एन वाजपेयी कुलपति हिमाचल प्रदेश विश्वविद्यालय, डीन ऑफ स्टडीज प्रोफेसर एस चौहान, प्रोफेसर स्वर्ण सिंह, जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी, प्रोफेसर RS यादव, चेयरमैन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस, कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी कुरुक्षेत्र, डायरेक्टर एकेडमिक स्टाफ कॉलेज प्रोफेसर मर्ड, प्रोफेसर अर्जिंदर सिंह चौहान CDC, डॉक्टर रमेश कुमार चौहान विभागाध्यक्ष राजनीति शास्त्र विभाग, डायरेक्टर तिब्बत पॉलिसी इंस्टीट्यूट, मिस्टर ताशी फुनसोक, मिस्टर डोंडुक गैल्पो, मिस्टर लॉबसिंग टेम्पा, मिस्टर तेंजिन नॉर्गे, विभिन्न विभागों के विभागाध्यक्ष, डायरेक्टर्स, तिब्बत समुदाय के मेरे बंधु, विद्यार्थी, राजनीति विभाग के छात्र छात्राएं, हिमाचल प्रदेश विश्वविद्यालय के छात्र छात्राएं, मीडिया से आए इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और प्रिंट मीडिया के मेरे साथी, मैं आप सबका इस वनडे इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस रिविजिटिंग शिमला एग्रीमेंट 1914 आप सबका पधारने पर मैं आपका सम्मान करता हूं। मैं परम आदरणीय कुलपति महोदय से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो दीप प्रज्वलन करें। अब मैं अधिष्ठाता अध्ययन जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो आदरणीय कुलपति जी को शॉल, कैप और पुष्पगुच्छ देकर सम्मानित करें। मैं आदरणीय कुलपति जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो पुष्पगुच्छ और हिमाचली कैप प्रोफेसर स्वर्ण सिंह जी को देकर सम्मानित करें। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो पुष्पगुच्छ, हिमाचली कैप और मफलर देकर प्रोफेसर RS यादव जी को भी सम्मानित करें। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो मिस्टर ताशी फुनसोक स्पीकर फ्रॉम तिब्बत पॉलिसी इंस्टीट्यूट उन्हें सम्मानित करें। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो मिस्टर डोंडोप गैल्पो को पुष्पगुच्छ, स्कार्फ और हिमाचली कैप देकर सम्मानित करें। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो मिस्टर लॉपसिंग टेम्पा, स्कॉलर फ्रॉम तिब्बत पॉलिसी इंस्टीट्यूट, उन्हें पुष्पगुच्छ, हिमाचली कैप और मफलर देकर सम्मानित किया। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो मिस्टर तेंजिन नॉर्गे, स्कॉलर फ्रॉम तिब्बत पॉलिसी इंस्टीट्यूट, उन्हें पुष्पगुच्छ, स्कार्फ और हिमाचली कैप देकर सम्मानित करें। मैं कुलपति महोदय जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो दिनेश कुमार, एसोसिएट एडिटर ट्रिब्यून, उन्हें हिमाचली कैप, स्कार्फ Dear friends, we have gathered here to revisit the Shimla Agreement 1940. The sixth speaker will speak on the issue. This is joint collaboration with Tibet Policy Institute and Himachal Pradesh University. It is a centenary year of this agreement, and in this conference, the main discussion will be on the relevance of this agreement in the present international scenario, and as well as the legitimacy of this agreement will be discussed upon during the course of conference. Now I will request Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Adian Vajpayee to speak on, to set the tone of the conference or the lectures. Thank you.
विश्वविद्यालय के अधिष्ठाता अध्ययन प्रोफेसर एस चौहान जी, राजनीति शास्त्र के विभाग अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर रमेश चौहान जी, इस कार्यक्रम के संयोजक कमल मनोहर जी, प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र चौहान जी, पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट, हमारे एकेडमिक स्टाफ कॉलेज के डायरेक्टर प्रोफेसर BS मार, विश्वविद्यालय के अन्य आचार्यगण, हमारे अनुरोध पर इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय एक दिवसीय परिसंवाद में पधारे हुए प्रोफेसर आर.एस. यादव जी, स्वर्ण सिंह जी, टिबेटियन पॉलिसी रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर, अन्य स्कॉलर्स जिनके की नाम लेना मुश्किल है मेरे लिए, मैं उनसे क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ। ट्रिब्यून के सीनियर एडिटर मिस्टर दिनेश कुमार जी, हमारे इस विश्वविद्यालय के शोध छात्र और छात्र छात्राओं, ये अत्यंत प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि आज हम अपने विश्वविद्यालय में शिमला एग्रीमेंट 1914 के शताब्दी वर्ष के उपलक्ष्य में ये आयोजन कर रहे हैं और संभवतः ये भारतवर्ष ही क्या लगता है पूरे विश्व में इस सेंटेनरी मनाने का सबसे पहला अधिवेशन होना चाहिए। वो इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ, एक्चुअली दिस एग्रीमेंट वाज साइंड ऑन 3rd July 1914, तो वर्चुअली द सेंटेनरी डे falls on 3rd July 2014. We have just predated to host this particular seminar, and reason is nobody else but my reason, my subjectivity. When I was talking to Tibetan Prime Minister Mr. Shanghai, actually he floated this particular idea, why not Himachal Pradesh University and Tibetan Policy Research Institute jointly organize a centenary seminar. So I said 3rd July in principle may not be covered under my 3 years tenure, because my tenure is being completed on 24th May. So if any date suits to you which is falls well before 24th May, that could be good for me. Then there was a lot of discussion between my friends here, Political Science Department and Tibetan Policy Research Institute Director, and then the 12th May was decided. Personal one, but it gives us a historical event for our university, for all of India and for all of world, that we have predated so far hosting this centenary seminar. Actually, the 5th month of the calendar year, that is May, coincides with that Tibetan calendar on which that 3rd July fell. I was reading those dates yesterday night. तो उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि 5वां महीना जो टाइगर कैलेंडर, टाइगर ईयर जो होता है, उसमें फॉल करता है। तो ये जो महीना है, महीना उस महीने में जो टिबेटियन कैलेंडर का महीना है, उससे कम वो एक बात हो जाती है, समरूपता आ जाती है, यद्यपि तारीख में हो न हो, that becomes some sort of coincidence. See friends, it's not merely the organization of this centenary seminar. Virtually it should be the beginning of whole year seminar and events based upon this Shimla agreement. Because the issues related to India, China and Tibet are so complicated, are so many, they cannot be discussed in 1 or 2 days seminars, nor they can confined to the limits of time, and also to the geographical area also they cannot be confined to. So in whole of world should discuss this particular issue of tripartite agreement between the then India and British India, Tibet as well as China. And I do agree with Kamal Manohar ji when he was mentioning some of the issues. Because a lot of water has flown in holy Ganges since 1914. the world is not the same as 1914 world was. The geopolitics, the economy, the governance, the nature, the demography, the mindset, the strategic issues, much have changed during the past 100 years. So merely culling up those issues of that particular time won't make our seminar relevant today when we are discussing. To make that particular similar agreement relevant, we'll have to reconsider those all issues looking into the present situations prevailing not only in one country but whole of the world as such. One thing is sure, that this particular agreement remained alive throughout 100 years. It did not join any dustbin or any dust basket during past 100 years. Some or the other, whether it's matter of academics or during discussions or relations between India and China, or relations between British and India, or relation between Britain and China, Tibet and this agreement did figure. So this is the beauty of this particular agreement. No matter China didn't sign on that particular agreement, but दूसरी है. But China could never ignore the importance of this agreement. That's another thing. Merely signing or not signing, it's not getting rid of what have been transpired between the then India, China and Tibet. That's another thing. Legally, China is not bound to abide by this particular agreement. But there is a lot of moral pressure on China today also, whether it should ignore or not ignore. You see, Tibet is part of China. No matter it was not the sovereignty of Tibet was not the part of China, but still the dominance of China over Tibet was recognized that time also. And in 2008, till 2008, Britain was not recognizing fully that Tibet is the part of China. But in 2008, Britain agreed, recognized that Tibet is the part of China. What was the pressure on Britishers? On one side, in 1914, Britain is signatory to that particular agreement. And after 82 years, 90 years, when Britain is saying that Tibet is complete part of China, what are the pressures over Britain? The China, that time of China and today's China is entirely different. Today's China is not merely the political power, it's one of the greatest economic power world over. It's trade between, not only India, not only with Japan, but with states as well as the whole of Europe have increased enormously. Rather, those countries started depending upon China for this economic development. And I was reading in one of the papers, the contribution of China towards International Monetary Fund have increased enormously. And this is the IMF, which is one of the bodies, this World Bank and IMF, are the bodies which are not dictating the economic policies of the world, including developed and developing nations, but also the political and the diplomatic policies as well. Whether the contribution of China towards IMF has forced Britain to say this thing that Tibet is part of China, that's another issue to be discussed. Another thing that European and other countries, see, may or may not be of much concern about relations with the Tibet in China as India is. India is directly concerned with relationship with Tibet as well as with China. You see, we all know Tibetans are spread all over world. Their constituencies are spread all over world. But there is a main stake is here in India. And Tibet figures very much prominently when Sino-Indian relations are taking place. Tibet is important to have its own sovereignty as well as its independence as a state for India for its strategic concerns. If Tibet is free, sovereign country of its own, so most of the expenditure, especially for maintaining troops just to counter the forces of China, would be saved. Expenditure on defense would be quietly saved by India if Tibet is becoming strong. That's the interest of India as well. But at the same time, we can never counter so far as military forces which China possesses with. It's very difficult for India to encounter China. China will have to I think the Chinese experts should come forward about the nature of Chinese diplomacy. You see, if you are just reading that Shimla Accord, initially all three, representatives of different countries are agreeing to come sit together, discuss the issues, isn't it? And when it comes to sign, two representatives are signing and one is betraying, one is not signing. What's that? Since then, coming to the today in 2014, you will have to study the nature of diplomacy of Chinese premier Chinese representatives. And then also, there is an urgent need to make an international opinion for or against China so far as Tibet and other countries as well. When we are just discussing the issues of Tibet vis-a-vis China, then we cannot ignore the issue of Arunachal Pradesh also. We'll have to remember it. Because Arunachal Pradesh also did figure, NEFA did figure in that particular agreement and after writings also. That caution we'll have to take while discussing Tibet and China relations. China still say that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of China. That too we'll have to understand clearly. So friends, this particular seminar which we have organized in which experts would come and discuss all issues at length. I am not an expert. I am not a student in political science or international relations. This is by some reading and some common sense which I have just gathered and sharing with you. One thing I would like to just mention that seminars should not be just for academic discourse, coming, talking, taking tea and going together. There should be some sense of commitment. And commitment is that if we are living free, fair, fearless society, providing to all the world communities, why should there be one country be slave of any other country? Why should there be domination of any big power on any small country? Power you can earn. Power you can just grab also by resolving to several undue, unwanted, unwarranted tactics. Or whether in a civilized society today, those resolutions should be adhered to? I think answer is no. अगर हम सभ्य समाज की बात करते हैं आज, अब पूरे विश्व के सभ्य सम्भ्रांत समाज की हम कल्पना करते हैं, तो किसी भी एक देश की दूसरे देश पर आधिपत्य या सत्ता या प्रभुसत्ता या उसको गुलाम बनाने बात को नकारना चाहिए। और मुझे लगता है इसके ऊपर कोई एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जनमत बने, इस ओर हमको बढ़ना चाहिए। और जब एक बार अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जनमत बन जाएगा, तब मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारी समस्याएं न केवल चीन और तिब्बत की, बहुत सारे और भी देशों के बीच में इस प्रकार की समस्याएं चल रही हैं, और हो सकता है कि सुदूर आगे चल कर के हम और हमारे भारतवर्ष की भी जो कुछ आंतरिक समस्याएं हैं उनको भी इसी जनमत के द्वारा हम सुलझा पाएंगे। मैं अपनी फिर से प्रसन्नता व्यक्त करता हूं। कमल मनोहर जी और राजेंद्र सिंह चौहान जी ने बहुत इसमें कष्ट उठाया है आज के इस सेमिनार को आयोजित करने में, और जो तिब्बत के हमारे डायरेक्टर साहब यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं पॉलिसी रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के, और भी जो लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं प्रोफेसर्स विद्वान लोग आए हैं, उनका मैं विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से स्वागत करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ, और आज के इस परिसंवाद की सफलता की कामना करता हूँ। धन्यवाद। वंदे मातरम।
Director, Tibet Policy Institute. Tibet Policy Institute want to honor Honorable Vice Chancellor, and I will request Director, Tibet Policy Institute to come on the dais and give honor to the Vice Chancellor. इसी के साथ ही हमारा इनागुरल सेशन यहीं पे समाप्त होता है।